updates later on as well. Would like to thank our sponsors, WizLab and Fetian. And we're just going to be starting about in a minute. We have our next speaker lined up, Vidit Golam. And with that, I will hand it over to him. Vidit, are you connected on the call?
Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Sure. So please
Okay.
go ahead, and you can share your screen. And looking forward for a great session. Over to you, Vidit.
Yep. Thank you, Priyesh. Thank you, everyone. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yep. This is my third year speaking with Power Platform classmates. I started speaking with Power Platform classmates. So thank you all the organizers, first of all, for organizing such events and helping people like me. Uh, to introduce myself, I am Vidit Gholam. I'm a senior consultant working with CloudFront Technologies, and I'm based in Mumbai. I'm also a certified Microsoft trainer, and few of my certificates are displayed on the screen. About today's session, it is going to be about how you can accelerate document approvals uh, if you just have SharePoint Teams and Power Automate, a basic M365 license. Um, every one of us in their organizations or within your businesses need documents and need a place to manage them. Since a lot of the people present here would be having an M365 license, definitely. So many organizations don't utilize SharePoint as much and as efficiently as they can. So this session is around that. I will show you how you can use your existing licenses and within your license, how you can create a small and simple document approval or document management system within SharePoint Teams using a Power Automate flow. So the agenda would be to see how to manage SharePoint document libraries, how to use them with a Power Automate flow, how to create permission levels within SharePoint, so people can view, some people can approve, and some people can upload documents. We'll be seeing how to create a Power Automate flow for a single Power Automate flow for all your SharePoint libraries, irrespective of how many sites and how many libraries you have, just a single flow for all of the libraries. And of course, definitely some Power Platform tips and tricks. So let's begin with the use case first. As I said, every organization needs a document management process. Um, just for this use case, you can consider there are three teams. It generalized three teams: uh, a solution architect team, a designer team, and a developer team. So uh, the solution architect team would be um, the one who is monitoring the entire process or architecting the entire process. The designer team is the team who is also architecting, but they have more, more work related to designing and other things. So the designer team designs something and it sends it to the solution architect team for their approval. And once the approval process is done, or once the process or the document is approved, it is consumed by the developer team. So this is the use case. We have three teams: a solution architect team that would be approvers, a designer team that would be uh, uploaders or create the team that creates the document, and the developers who are going to consume or view those documents. So our SharePoint permissions would look something like this. The designers who are going to design or create documents would have permission to upload, request approval. They won't have permissions to approve any documents or download any documents. They'll have permissions to view. They won't have permissions to delete any documents. The architects or the solution architects, on the other hand, will have all the privileges as a super admin inside of SharePoint. So they can upload documents, they can see any number of documents that are uploaded within the SharePoint. They can reject, they can approve, they can download, they can delete everything that a super admin can do, a solution architect can do. On the developer end, those who will be the consumers of the document, they can only view the documents and they will be only able to view the documents that are approved by the solution architects. So the process flow is simple. The designers upload a document. Those documents are not visible to anyone, any of the other designers also, other than the solution architects themselves. Once the designer will request an approval to approve this document, the solution architect would review. Once it is reviewed and approved by the solution architect, then the documents will be visible uh, throughout the organizations for the consumers or the developers to view them. Let me quickly show you how this process looks like. On my screen, you are seeing a document library that I've created. It is a I mean, I'm logged in as a solution architect or a super admin. So these are the documents that I own. Two of the documents I own, and one of the document is uploaded by one of the designer. So all of these documents are in the draft state. Here is a button to request approval. I can request approval from a superior solution architect or someone from the organizer. If someone has submitted something, it would show as pending. So everything that is going on in the document library would be visible to this solution architect. If we see the designer screen, so it is the same SharePoint site. We have 3 documents in all. But the designer is only able to see his own document that he has uploaded. So the designers would just see their documents and any approved documents that were approved or that were requested by some other designer. On the uh, developer or the consumer users, they will not see any documents if they are not approved by anyone. So all the documents that are approved, that are ready to be consumed, only those documents will be visible to the viewers or the consumers. So this is an overview of how the process is going to be and how the permission levels and the categories I mean, the permissions are categorized. Moving on. Um, just a second. Oh, I will start presenting again. Yeah. So again, we saw the process flow. Now let's start up with setting up the SharePoint. So what we saw that I've already set up, we will see in this session the entire setup and the process that will be going on for this setup. So the document module involves 2 setups. One, you need to set up your SharePoint. Another one, you need to create and set up a Power Automate flow. So just 2 setups for all of your document libraries. The SharePoint setup involves enabling content approvals. I will talk about what content approvals are ahead. creating, uploading site permissions, the site permissions that we just saw for architects, designers, and developers. User groups, this is optional. You can directly add users, or you can create a M365 group and then add that within your SharePoint. Some site customizations, applying site permissions. So everything that we need to set up for this document management process uh, inside of SharePoint, I will be showing you in the upcoming slides. So this process can be made in two ways. You can either directly create a SharePoint site and start configuring the site, or uh, you can just create a teams. So for every project, most of the M365 organizations have different teams, team channels, and teams within the organization that are managing projects. So you can create a team. Whenever you create a team, a SharePoint site is created, a team site is created. By default in the backend, you can use that SharePoint site as well. If you are new to SharePoint, you don't know how to create sites, it is fairly simple, but still, you can just uh, go into your existing teams. Uh, you can search for uh, SharePoint. In there, you will be directed to the site that has been created for this team. So you can do, I mean, you can access SharePoint directly through Teams. Or you can also create a SharePoint site um, using a blank site. Inside of SharePoints, as we have seen the three roles, um the architects, the designers, and the developers, we need to set up permissions and uh, groups for these roles. So we'll be setting up that using the site permissions. This is just for you to get used to what I will be showing you in the demo. So just go through the slides with me in the demo. We'll see how to do this process step by step. That will give you more clarity. So setting up the site permissions, these are the permission levels that are there by default within SharePoint. Edit permission, contribute permission. You don't need to create these. We'll be editing a few permissions, removing some privileges, adding some privileges for the permission levels, for our desired permission levels. So these are the permissions that we need to remove. I will show you in the demo. So when I showed you, when I gave you an overview, you saw a start approval button uh, on the site. So that is a custom button that I have added using a simple JavaScript. So I will also show you how you can add that button. And that button is calling our Power Automate flow that will be processing the document approval. Versioning. So there is a feature in SharePoint that helps you version the documents. So the things that we saw, that is, documents will be in draft, documents will be approved, documents will be rejected. All of these uh, are not by default enabled. You need to enable the versioning setting inside of every SharePoint site. Sorry, every SharePoint library. Once that is enabled, all of these features would be visible. It is a simple three-step process, nothing complex. In the demo, we'll see more about that. So if you are creating a document library directly from SharePoint, you won't require this step. But when a SharePoint site is created uh, through a team, or when a team site is created, it inherits permissions of that team's group. So you need to stop inheriting those permissions, and you need to use the permissions that the SharePoint site provides. Or you can also create your own permissions. It is fairly simple. The next step is to assign or to add users within each of the groups within our SharePoint. So these are some of the steps that we need to do. Uh, this is the process flow that we will follow. The process starts. We'll create a team site. We'll add members. We'll open the default SharePoint site. We'll edit the permissions. We'll create a new document library. We'll enable content approval. Since we have created a team site from Teams, we'll stop inheriting permissions. We'll apply permission levels. We'll add user groups, edit, create a audit list, and the process ends. With that, let's quickly see or go through how to set up a SharePoint site for this document approval process. So as I have explained you in the PowerPoint, I have a team that says by the name Power Platform Experts. So in this team, you will see ellipses. Uh, in these ellipses, you sorry, this is by default added. That's why you are seeing that here. But if you go on add a new tab, if you search for SharePoint, you will have the option for SharePoint here. If you have created any SharePoint site, uh, you can directly copy paste the link of that site here, and that site will be linked with your Teams channel. If the site is created by the team, or if you want to use the site created by the team, that site would be visible in here. So you can select any of the options and you can just click save. If you have selected a specific document library that I have selected, you will see that document library directly added as a new tab here, or you will see the default document library by the name documents added within your Teams channel. So coming back to the SharePoint site, uh, once you have finished adding all of your document libraries, or sorry, the sites, you can access your SharePoint site directly from here. So if I click here, it would redirect to this screen. In here, first we need to set up the SharePoint site for the for the permission levels, and we need to add members inside of the groups of the SharePoint site. Second, for the document libraries, we need to enable content approval, and we need to add uh, the button, request approval button, uh, in the document library. So to set the permissions of the SharePoint site, you need to click on this gear icon. Under site permissions, go to advanced permissions. Under advanced permissions, you will see permission levels and you will see the groups that are there by default in the SharePoint site. So there is always a member group, a owner group, and a visitor group by default. If you have more number of groups, you can create new groups using the create group button. So if the hierarchy of your organization is more vivid than what I am showing, you can definitely create new mission. Thing that I am showing we will be just to all the things that are available. Custom add your tweak requirements. Sorry. So before we add members inside of these groups, or we assign permissions to these SharePoint groups, let's first take a look at what or how the permission levels look like. So by default, SharePoint is 5 permission levels. You can add a permission level, a custom permission level of your own as well. But for this demo, we'll be just using these permission levels. So out of these permission levels, we'll be using the design permission level, the contribute permission level, and the read permission level. So as the read permission level says, view pages and list and download attachments. So anyone who has the read permission level won't be able to upload or delete anything from the SharePoint site. They will be only able to download and view or print any documents from that SharePoint document library. The contribute level has some privileges to delete documents, but we can remove those privileges and prevent users from deleting the documents. So the read privilege would be assigned to the consumers, that are the developers who will be consuming all the approved documents. The contribute permission level would be assigned to the designers who are going to design and upload documents for approvals. The design permission would be given to the departments that are the solution architects who will be approving and seeing all the documents that are uploaded by the contributors, designers. So we don't need to change any of the permission settings or permission level settings from the designer and the reader permission levels, but we need to remove some permissions from the contribute level. So it is fairly simple to understand if you read each and every permission. By default, a few permissions are already given to the permission level. If you don't want to touch any existing permission level inside of the SharePoint. If you are using a older SharePoint site that has been within your organization since 5, 6 years, and you don't want to mess up anything, you can create a copy of this permission level and edit that permission level. So if anything goes wrong, that goes wrong in the newly created permission level, and the original permission level stays as is. So from this permission level, you need to remove the delete item permission, the approve item permission, the open item permission, view versioning permissions, delete versions permissions, uh, edit personal user information permission, and all of the personal permissions you need to remove. Once all of these permissions are removed, click submit, and our permission levels are set. Once we have set up these permission levels, we will go back to the site. In this site, members would be our designers, owners would be our solution architects, visitors would be our developers or consumers. So all the members that will be contributing documents or that would be uploading documents or designing documents within the SharePoint library, they should be added inside of this SharePoint group. So Abhishek Kumar here is a designer who will be designing documents. So I've added him in this uh, group. You can also create M365 groups. You can add members to those M365 groups, and you can simply add if the number of users within your member group is going to be large. So instead of adding people individually, you can just simply create an M365 group and just add that group inside of this SharePoint member group. And you can remove and add people from your Microsoft Admin Center. You won't have to come to SharePoint. So similarly, in all of the other groups, you will have to add, sorry, the respective users for those groups. So the visitor group here has Arnold Lobo, who is a developer and who will be consuming all the approved documents. The owner is myself. Currently, the login user, that admin user, who will be approving and seeing all the submitted documents. Uh, if you see here, the permission level says contribute, design, and read. This will not be the case for you. You will have the out-of-the-box permissions that are set up uh, for these groups by SharePoint. Uh, Now to add permissions, you can just click on or select any SharePoint group, click on edit permissions, and you can add any permission that you want, the desired permission that you want to give to the group. So since it is a contributor or a designer group, I've given contributor access. So uh, right now on the screen, you're seeing all the out of the box permission levels. If you create any new permission level or any custom permission level, all of those permission levels would also be visible in this list. So it is fairly simple to assign permissions and create permission levels within SharePoint and adding members. So with this, we have completed setting up our SharePoint site. Now it's time to set up the documents library. So in the content settings, you can create your own document libraries or a list uh, as per your requirement. I have already created a document library by the name project documents. In this document library, versioning settings won't be enabled by default. So to enable the versioning settings, we will have to go to the library settings and enable them. So to enable the versioning settings, you need to go to library settings from the same gear icon. You need to go to more settings. In the more settings under the general group, you will see versioning settings. So there are two types of versioning settings. One is create major versions, and the second is create major minor draft versions. So we will be using the create major minor draft versions. This option, that is the content approval option, would be set to no. So you need to toggle it from. I will just refresh this. So you need to toggle it from no to yes. All of the other settings remain as is. Just click on OK. Once this is done, all the SharePoint setup is done and configured. Now you can begin uploading documents, and you will see the approval status uh, visible here as soon as you have enabled the content approval for this document library. Oh, sorry. Uh, the next step is to create this request approval uh, column inside of SharePoint. So to create a request approval column, you just need to click on add columns. Inside of add column, create a text column and click next. Name the column anything as per your requirement. I have given this column name as request approval. Once the column is created, the text field is created, you need to click on the column, go to edit columns, click on format this column. Inside the format this column, you will uh, be directed to this screen, format views. Click on advanced mode. In the advanced mode, you will have an option to add. Sorry, anyone was speaking anything?
No, you
Anyways,
continue.
okay. So inside of the format columns, here you will have to add the JavaScript that will be calling that will be adding this start approval button, and that will be calling the Power Automate flow. The JavaScript is fairly simple. I have written a blog on this, on how to set up um this field and how to set up all the SharePoint settings. I will add that blog inside of this chat. Um, you can get the JavaScript from here. I've added the necessary comments where you need to add the necessary things that I will be explaining further on when we start developing the Power Automate flow. But for now, I'll just paste this link in the chat in a while. You can access those blogs from there for further reference. Once you have added this content approval part, all your SharePoint setup is done and ready. Now we need to move to creating the Power Automate flow. So the Power Automate flow is fairly simple. Um, we need to use a trigger condition uh, for a selected file, for a SharePoint selected file. Uh, and based on that, the outputs of that selected file will be getting the necessary things that we need for the content approval. So the process is fairly simple for it. I will go to the Power Automate screen and I will show you. So this is the SharePoint document flow, approval flow. Remember a few things before you create this flow. If you have multiple users that will be using this flow, you need to share this flow with those users. So let's say you have 5 users who will be using this flow. You need to share this flow with those 5 users so that they are able to access that flow in the SharePoint site. The next part is you need to configure this flow to run as the owner or whoever who is a super admin inside of the SharePoint site. So here you need to add the email address of the user that is a super admin inside of your SharePoint site. I will explain you once we go through the flow steps why this is needed. But these two steps are essential. First, sharing the flow with uh, the people that are going to use it or use a document management process, and run the flow in the context of uh, a SharePoint super admin. So let's begin with the flow details. For people who are new to Power Automate, I'm using a legacy designer. Uh, on your screen, you are seeing a designer that was used before. I'm using this designer because it is fairly simple for me to explain through that. And it is also simple for people to understand how the flow runs. But every one of you or anyone who is new to Power Automate, you will see a designer that looks something like this. That will appear within a few seconds on your screen. Meanwhile, anyone has any questions or any questions are posted in the chat?
Yeah, I have one question. So, I believe according to permission, let's say a user is added into two groups. One has a higher privilege and other one restricts some of the actions. So, just like Power Platform, it will also give the user the higher privilege, right?
Yeah, correct. That's correct.
Okay.
So you just saw the new designer. Coming back to the old designer. So all our the trigger of our flow would be for a selected file. It is a SharePoint action that is available out of the box. So we'll be just using that action to run our flow. So for a selected file, it doesn't matter whichever document library or SharePoint site you put here and whichever library name you put here. This is just a placeholder because this is a required field. So this single flow can be used within multiple document libraries. It is a generic flow. You can use it for hundreds of document libraries. But as a placeholder, you need to put some value because those values are required by the flow. If uh, your approver is a single person, you can uh, add the input uh, as a single person. But if you have multiple approvers, maybe there is a group of people that can approve documents, you need to list down the emails or the names of those people over here so that when the designer accepts or requests approval, they can select the correct person or the correct authority of that department. So I have a few set of expressions that I've written. So uh, let's go to the run history here. I ran this flow from a document library that we just saw. If you see the output of this flow, inside of the body, we get the item URL and the file name and the file ID. So if I copy this item URL from here, you can see that uh, we can easily get just a second. I didn't copy it correctly. So if you take a look at this URL, you can see that it is fairly easy for anyone to get uh, the SharePoint site and the document library name just by writing a few expressions, cutting short this URL and extracting the site that is Documents Pro here and the site name and the document library name that is Project Documents. So that is what we are doing in this flow. I have written a few expressions here. In the same blog that I am going to share, I have given the exact expression that you can use to get the document library URL and the document library name. So some of you may ask why a document library URL and a document library name is required, and why do we need to get that? For people who have a fair share of experience with Power Automate and SharePoint connectors, you might know that for all the connectors, the only required part is the site address, that is the URL. Sorry, this is the wrong connector.
That
Yeah.
you have about
Uh,
5 minutes.
yeah. Sure. So the only required part is the site address, that is the URL and the document library name. So if we have the site address or if we can generically add the site address, we can make any action run for any SharePoint library and any sorry any uh, site. So that is what we are doing. We are calling the flow through a JavaScript. That flow passes the item URL for which it is called. Using that URL, we are extracting the document library name and the document library URL. Fairly simple, right? But it is not as simple as it sounds, because if you change the document library's name, uh, for example, if I change the name of this document library from project documents to something else, the backend name of that document library would always be project documents. So even if you are able to get the document library from the URL, the name of the document library would come incorrect if anyone changes the name of the document library. So for that, what we will be using is the file ID. So we get the file ID, we can get the file ID from the URL directly, or uh, we can get the file ID from the file metadata. So why we will be using this file ID? So using the file ID, we will be sending an HTTP request to the SharePoint site. Uh, Once an HTTP request is sent, that HTTP request gives us a whole lot of information about that SharePoint site. From the request body of that request, we can get anything that we want for that site. You can get the site name, you can get the document library name, the document library ID, anything that you want, the backend things of that document library, you can get from this HTTP request. So you might wonder why ID, why we need ID. So these values, the site address and the library name, even though you see the name in the front end, but in the back end, this connector is accepting an ID, that is the ID of that specific SharePoint library or that specific SharePoint list. Hence, through the file ID, we will be getting the document library ID in which the file resides. So to get the file ID first, it is fairly simple. Uh, Based on the documents that are uploaded on the SharePoint, we get the URL in two types. For example, if I open this document, you can see that you will get the entire ID of this document directly in the URL itself if you decode this URL. For PDFs, for images, JPEGs, everything, you can directly get the ID from the SharePoint URL directly. But for documents like Word documents, PowerPoint, Excels, you will see that after layout, there is a section called as layouts. So after this layouts, if I just copy this, sorry, if I just copy this, if I do a decode URI, if I decode this URL, you can see the source document ID is directly here. And this is the ID that we need directly to get the document library ID. So that is what I've done. From I'm checking if the library name contains layouts. If it contains layouts, I am doing a decode URI. Then I'm processing, slicing it a bit, slicing this URL to get this ID. Eventually, the end result would be the file ID. Here, for documents that we can directly get from the path, like PDFs or uh, images, I am just getting the document based on the URL of the document. I am doing a get file metadata. In the get file metadata, I will go back to the run history again. Yeah, if you see in the get file metadata, you get an e tag, and this e tag contains the file ID. So here I've just written an expression to replace all the necessary things from that e tag and get the file ID. Once I have the file ID, I am just putting a get request uh, to SharePoint. From that get request, I have written an expression to get the ID of the document library. So if you see, the expression here is output from get document library update, that is the step above. Body, inside of the body there is list item all fields. Inside of the list item there is parent list. Inside of the parent list there is ID. So if I show you in the run history, uh, inside of the body there is list all fields. Inside of list fields there is parent ID. Now inside of this parent ID we have the ID of the document library. So this is what I was saying. You get whole lot of information about the document library and about any document library from the file ID itself. So that makes our flow generic, and we can run this flow for any number of SharePoint sites. Yeah, definitely. If you are a developer, a SharePoint developer, you can just write a PNP script, send a request to HTTP request to a Power Automate flow, and get all the details directly. But for someone who is not a SharePoint developer, this can be a good approach. Based on the ID, I'm setting the content approval to submitted. Now, in the initial step, I showed you you need to run the flow with a global admin access. This is for this step. If you don't run this flow with a global admin context, this step will never run, because to set content approval, the context of the running user should be a global admin. And since your flow would be run by users that have lower privileges, this step can get stuck if you are not running the flow with a global admin access. Uh, a simple approval
Um,
process. Yes.
Vidit, sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to give you a time check.
Yeah. So a simple approval process. The outcome is approved. The document is approved. The outcome is rejected. The document is rejected. So I would just show you how this works. I click on. Oh, also, in the JavaScript, you need to give the ID of the flow. If you go to the edit step, uh, you can get the flow ID simply from this URL if you decode this URL. And in the blogs that I'll be sharing with you guys, I have given all the details, all the expressions, step by step with screenshots, so it is easier for you to understand. So I will just quickly show you how this works. I will click on request approval. It will take a while to load, a few seconds. The name of the flow came here, document approval flow. I will select the user. I will click on run a flow. So now since I've ran the approval, I will just refresh this. This will be in the pending state. If we go to any of the other users, that document won't be visible here because it is not approved. Now I will go to Teams. I must receive approval here. I did. Now in this approval, the approvers can directly access the document with the link here. Add comments, approve or reject. Approved. Once it is approved, if we refresh, the document is approved. Now, if we see all the other users, the approved document is visible here. If we see this user, that is the viewer, the approved document is visible here. The viewer won't be able to delete any documents. They can only download or print documents. The designers can upload documents, but they can't delete any documents. So that is how our entire process flow would be. These are some of the questions that I already answered. So that's how our process runs, and that's how you can create a simple yet effective document management process using your existing licenses, SharePoint, and Power Automate. All the connectors that I showed are not premium. They are available in the free license that you get with the number of subscriptions that you buy. So that's it for this session. Thank you guys. These are my QR code for the blogs and LinkedIn. You can surely connect with me if you have any doubts. Post this session, I'll quickly link the blogs that I mentioned that will help you build this process within your organization. Thank you guys. Thank you, Power
Thank-
Platform classmates again.
Thank
For
you,
the
Vidit,
opportunity.
thank you for presenting this topic. We do have a couple of questions on the chat, but just to keep the event on time, we have the other speaker waiting. If you can answer those on the chat, that would be great.
Sure. I will definitely. Thank you, Ritika. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Vidit. Okay, so that was Vidit, everybody. Now, next up, we have Ram Prakash Durasamy, and he's going to talk about automate automate document processing using Microsoft Flows. So, hey Ram Prakash, can you please hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, guys, now we have with us Ram Prakash, and he is a Microsoft MVP and MCT for business applications. Thank you so much, Ram Prakash, for coming here today. The
Yep,
floor is all
perfect.
yours.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. So first I need to thank Power Platform classmates to provide me this opportunity. And without any delay, we'll just start this session. So let me know once you people can see my screen. So Ritika, you can able to see my screen?
No, not yet.
Right, okay, 1 second. How about now?
Yes, now it is loading.
Okay,
Okay, I
perfect.
can see it,
Okay,
and I
perfect.
see the PPT.
Yeah, perfect, cool. So today we are going to see about uh, automate the documenting reader using Microsoft AI. So which is nothing but, for example, if I'm going for a hospital, they have provided me a lot of description. That's a prescription. So that prescription I need to automate and read it, and I need to store it in some places. So just by uploading the document into my Canvas Power App, how we can easily do that. So such kind of scenario, we will see how we can automate today in this Canvas Power App and in our demo. So I have already prepared a demo, but I'll just show you what we have done, what I have done it, and how we can done it. So both we can see it in our quick demo today. So without any delay, so my name is Ramprakash Doraisamy. I'm a lead consultant in Bosch Global Software Technologies, and I have around 12 plus years of experience in IT industry. So full of IT, my career with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and now into the Power Platform as well. So today's agenda is like what is the AI builder and how to create a custom model, and how to extract custom information from the document, and how to train the model, and how we can use that trained model in our Microsoft Flow. Then we'll just see the demo and we'll go for the Q&A part here. I'll just go for the AI model. So AI model is in the Power App to allow the AI capabilities to the app without coding. So which is nothing but it offers the pre-built text recognition or the object detection or the document reader or the prompts. So such kind of thing, these are all the inbuilt function which Microsoft Flow is by default which is providing. So by using the AI builder, how we are processing that we'll see it out in demo. So to access it here, so we just need to directly go to our make.powerautomate.com and you can see an AI builder over there. So you need to click on the AI builder and you can able to see different kind of options. So while going for the demo, I'll just show you what kind of what are the options which is available there to see and how to explore it over there. So now how to create a custom model in the same way as I said, we are going to make the Power Automate Flow, right? So there we are seeing a number of options which is of the out of box. There we can able to directly select what are the options which we need to use it out. So here we can able to see the AI model will be with a document or it can be text or it will be it is a structured data or images. So what are by using this one, it will come up with the components. So we can select that component and we can directly proceed with our operations. So here we are having couple of screenshots. So which is nothing but extract custom information from the document or extract information from the invoices or extract all the text in the photos and the PDF document. So these are all some of the components, AI model components, which is available there. So by clicking on this and we can able to proceed with our operations here. And now what we are going to do. So today we are going to see about the custom information from the document. So which is nothing but what is the document? For example, if I'm having uh, resumes available, 100 or 200 resumes available. I don't want to enter that manually again and again, and I don't want to save it in my uh, Power Apps or SQL or wherever it is. So for that, we can directly upload my resume to verify that okay, this resume is already available in our database or not. So for that, we can directly create our Power Apps in our front end and as a backend we are going to use our Microsoft Flow. So once after the document gets uploaded in the Canvas Power App, that document we will send to our Microsoft Flow. So Microsoft Flow receive the document and it will directly send the document to our AI model, which is nothing but I extract custom information from the document. It will automatically read the document and what is the response. So here we are at the right side, you can able to see an option called name, delivery order number, address, date, phone number, priority shipping, which is nothing but these are all the values which is available in my document that I can directly read it and it will send back to my Power Automate Flow. So the Power Automate Flow will receive that one and it will automatically send back to our Canvas Power App, which is nothing but the directed values from that document, a simple one. So this is what we are going to see, and this is the component called extract custom information from the document. Now, so once how you can see that okay whether it is trained or not. So we need to have a set of documents, so which is nothing but whatever which I'm just saying now is like a prerequisites. So we can create the prerequisites for example, if I want to train a document, I need to have 5 or 6 different type of documents need to be there because so that the AI will automatically train such kind of documents and it will provide some responses. Okay, this document is trained with so and so percentage. So using that percentage, we can able to consider that okay, our model has trained successfully. So for now, I have already trained a model called Resume Reader that I'll just show you. So this will automatically show you how our document has been trained here. So without any delay, so this is just a simple screenshot. So whatever which I'm just going to show a demo. So here I'm just going to attach a document. So this is the flow. It will directly read it and it will respond to my Power App, and the qualification, first name and last name, email, and will automatically gets populate here. So now we are just quickly jump into the demo because I don't want to take it into the PDF, and because of the shortage of time, what I'll do, I'll just directly create one of the AI model with the documents, and I'll just show you how I'm training that one. Today I'm just going to have a simple the same whatever which I just showed it here, the same flow. I'm just going to create it and I'm just going to show it to you here. So first I'll just go to my give me a second. I'll just be back. I'll just input my credentials. Only 1 second. Okay, let me know once you can able to see my screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
hope
see
I
it.
perfect,
We
cool,
can see it. Yeah.
perfect. So as I said, this is my what can I say, the document, sorry, the Power Apps. So for now, I'm just attaching this Power Apps and I'm just submitting the request. Once after the submitting the request which I have submitted, so it will automatically process, which will automatically send my response, so request to my Microsoft Power Automate flow, and it will directly read that the PDF file, and it will show the responses here. So here you can able to see. So this is the request which I have given with the resume sample. So what is the qualification which it is automatically populated, and here you can able to see the first name, last name, and the email automatically gets populated here. Same way, for example, if I'm just deleting this one and I'm adding another document, I'll say submit. So initially it was the name with sample one. Now you can able to see with the sample two, and you can see the qualification also get changed here. So how it is done? So as I said, I'll just go to my flow, and this is the document reader which I have. I'll just open this one. So here you can able to see 35 seconds ago it triggered. So if I open this one, so here you can able to see extract information from the documents. So here I'm passing the content type from the Power Automate. So here is what the response. For example, this is the email text which I'm just getting from there, and this is the qualification text, and this is the first name value, and the last is nothing but the last name value. So before that, so this is how the flow is working. So I'll just go to the AI Hub. So as I said, in the PPT, while taking the PPT, you can able to see I have these type of different items available, which is nothing but the prompts, AI models, and document automations. So if I go to the document automations, so you can able to see what are the documents available, like custom documents from the invoices or expert to. So what are the solution which we can select? We can directly select this one, and you can able to proceed with this operations. So I'll just come again and show you how we can directly start our new AI part. So before that, as I said, how the model is trained, how we can know that, okay, this model is trained successfully. So for that, I'll just open my resume reader. So here you can able to see, for example, I have uploaded 5 documents. Out of that 5 documents, which is with first name with 99% accuracy and last name with 99% accuracy and email with 99% accuracy and qualification with 20% accuracy. So overall, which is like the power only which we got it. So please make sure that you need to have at least an 80% of what can I say, fair to proceed with your documentation. So it depends on the documents how we are having. So let me just quickly go here. I'll begin with extract info custom information from the document reader. So this is the first page. So I can just select this one and I'll say custom create a custom model here. Okay. So here we are having 3 different options, which is with the fixed, whether it is a fixed template document or general document or invoices. So fixed template in the sense, for example, if I'm having a same format and I'm just having all the document with the same format, then we can directly go with a fixed template. If it is an invoice type of document, then we can directly go with this options, invoice options. So but now I'm having a different type of what can I say, the document PDF document available. So for that I can directly go with the fixed or invoice. So I'm just going with the general documents. I'll click on next. So what is the options or what are the values which you want to extract from the document? So that you need to specify it here. So for example, I'll add it here. So first I need a first name, or else I'll say full name, because document will automate take some time to train it. So I'm just going with the minimal number of field to show in our today's demo now. So I'll add it again. I'll say email address, and I'll say uh, employee address. I'll click on done. Now these 3 values I'll extract from my documentation, which is nothing but my PDF document. Yeah, and this is also not required. For example, for some of the documents may have email address or may not have email address as well. So we can ignore like a type of a mandatory field. If value is available, select it. If the value is not available, you can just ignore it and you can proceed with the other what can I say, the variables to map it in our document. So for now, I'll just provide these 3. I'll click on next. So I need to create a collection. So what is the collection here? So what is the document which I'm going to read it out? So I can directly um, uh, take the document from my device or feedback loop or SharePoint or from the Azure Blob storages. So for now, I'm just going to my devices. I have sample resumes already available. I'll select one of the sample resume. I'll upload this one. So once I uploaded here, you can able to see one document. So here it throws an error that we need at least 5 documents to train this model. So what I'll do, I'll just open the collection again. I'll click on add document. I'll click on add my devices. I'll select all the 3 again. So I'll say upload 4 documents. Now the document perfectly uploaded. I'll click on done. So now you can able to see 5 documents automatically gets uploaded and the warning message also disappears from here. So if you want to add a new collection, you can just select the new collection. You can add with the multiple documents as well. So that depends. So for now, I'm just going with the single collection. So I'll just select this one. I'll say next. So once I click on next, what it will do. So the next step is nothing but mapping that value from the document. So here, for example, first name, full name, email address, and employee address there. So now what I'll do, I'll just select this name. It will say, okay, this is the full name. I mapped it for full name. So here you can see the tick mark automatically came. The same way, I'll select my email address automatically came. So I'm just going to select the address, employee address also automatically mapped. So now I'll just go to my next document and I'll redo the same for all my 5 documents. First name is done. Email is done. Employee address is done. So I'll go for my other documents. So consider, for example, here the first name is not available. What you will do? So here full name is available. I'll just click on this 3 documents and I'll say not available in this document. So which means that we don't want to map this full name. So consider, okay, I'm not having the full name in this document. So this is for the email address. And this is my employee address. I'll go to my 4th document. Full name, email address, employee address. I go for the 5th document. I select my full name, email address, and an employee address. Yeah, that's it. Now I'll click on next. So now this is the last options to train the model. So I'll just rename this one, say train it. So if I say train, it says this may take up to 20 minutes to train our model. But as I said, we have only a limited number of fields we have selected. So as per my knowledge, it won't take more than like a couple of minutes to train my model. So within the meantime, I'll directly go to my Canvas Power App and will make uh, some changes so that it will automatically show a couple of values along there. So I'll just go to my document reader. So first name, last name, I'll just change this qualification to address. First name, last name. Okay, let me remove this last name and I'll say full name. Yeah, perfect. I think that's it. So, and this is the value which I'm just going to retrieve it from there. Yeah. So what I have done, I just created with the 1 by 2 by 2 screen, and here I just added the attachments. How I added attachments? I added an edit form. So in that edit form, we are having attachments available. I'll directly copy that attachment and I have pasted it here. That's it, nothing major. And here I'm just in the submit button, what I am do, I'm just setting that result from the document reader. Once after we get the result from that Microsoft Flow, I'm directly mapping it with the what can I say, the address or full name or email address. So nothing else. So for that, what I'll do now, let me just see whether it is trained or not. Okay, it's still training.
Hey Ram
Yep.
Prakash,
Within
while
the
this is
meantime, I think,
training, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we do have two questions on the chat. One
Mhm.
is, does it analysis with other job portals?
Other job portals, no. So it's we can't directly use the link to train it up. So you need your documents to be uploaded here. Uh, or for example, you can just input a couple of or bunch of document to your SharePoint site or with Microsoft Dataverse or like wherever it is where our Microsoft Flow is supported. For example, I have a SharePoint documents and you can import all from that external link to this SharePoint. So it will automatically read and it will automatically extract the information and it will store it in some places. That is what we can easily do it out here.
I hope that answers your question, Rajendra. If it doesn't, please drop a note on the chat with the follow-up. Okay, next we have, are all documents in the same format?
No, with that's what. So we can able to select. So as I said earlier, so I'll just say custom information. I'll go to with custom model. Sorry, it's take. So here you can able to say fixed document template. If you're having with the same format, then you can go with fixed document template. Or else if it is a general document, we can directly select a general document like a type of a newspaper. So because there we can able to extract your details. So for that you can directly select the general documents. Or if it is like a invoices, you can directly select the invoices. So it depends on our requirement. So for now, I'm just having a different type of PDF format that contains with the different formats. So for that, I have just directly selected the general documents, or else we can directly go with the fixed templates if it is a fixed. Then we can able to directly proceed as well.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Neeta.
Yes,
Next,
it does. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, next is about licensing. So, do we require additional licensing to implement this in projects?
Obviously, yes, it's a premium one, so we need a licensing for that one. So if you want to know more about our licensing, then you can directly reach out to me. I'll just directly provide you the details about that one and all.
Sounds good. So, Vikas, you can reach out to Ram Prakash and he can help you with the licensing. And next, we have a set of two questions. One is, will it support the multi-language document? So, that's the first one. I'll read the second one later.
Okay, so to be frank, I did not tried that one. That was a good question because I did not try that one. But I'll have a look on that one and I'll make a test of that one and I'll come back with an update. For now, we just directly trained my model with the English languages only, and we have tried it successful. But if it is for multi languages, I'll just quickly check that one and I'll come back with an update for that one.
Sounds good. And the second one is, will it support scanned documents?
Well, yeah, obviously. So you don't have to worry about this one. So for example, in one of my project, what we are going to do, so they are just directly providing the scanner document. So what they usually to do initially do is like they will receive hundreds of invoices daily. So what they'll do, they will open an invoice and they will provide, okay, these are the what this is the customer name and this is the product which they have purchased and what is the someone total amount. So that they use it to mention in our doc in each and every time they will input in our Power Apps and they will use it to store it. So now what we have done it out is we just automated that process, scan that document, scan that invoices, upload the invoices here. It will provide a response maybe like because instead of doing viewing and typing for 5 minutes, it will directly do it in our Power App with 1 to 2 minutes maximum. So it won't take more than that as well because it is slow because it is a trial environment. So if it is like a premium one, it will be like the production one. It will be very fast. You don't want to worry about this one. So for you answering your question, yes, scan document will also work here.
I hope that answers your questions, Ayaz. Let us know if you have any follow-up questions. And that was it for now on the chat, Ram Prakash. I
Yeah,
will
how much
let you
time
know.
is still available?
You have 10 minutes.
Okay, let me just see. I'm not sure why it is because usually the model I just okay. Let me just quickly open it here, and I don't want to waste the time here within the meter. Let me just edit the model. So if there is any questions comes in the meantime, I think I'll ready to answer. But yeah, let's wait for another 5 more minutes to see the model is getting trained for this one.
Okay, so there is nothing on the chat right now, but if any of the attendees have a question, feel free to unmute or you can drop a message on the chat.
Yep.
So, is there any limit on how many documents can process within an hour or something?
There is no limit in that one. So for example, I have just simply created the Power App with only one as an attachment. So what you can simply do is like you can attach 10 documents here, and if the 10 document is already trained with our model, what you can do is you can directly do at a time. So once after you uploaded the document, you can just take that document, store it in some place like a SharePoint or OneDrive, get each document one by one, uh, trigger send to our Microsoft Flow, process our what can I say, the AI model, process in the AI model, and extract that information. You can store it in any place. So yeah, it depends on the requirement, but there is no limit in the documents here. You can directly do it out.
Hey, hi, myself Bala.
Yes,
Can you
Bala.
hear me?
Yes, Bala, I
Okay,
can.
so I am bit familiar with AI Builder or AI Hub. Earlier it is AI Builder, now it is AI Hub.
Uh,
Okay, so one quick thing, right? Like when I was training the model, right, I was having
mhm,
around a decent, decent accuracy, or
mhm,
right, I can say 85 to 90%.
mhm,
So after that, we have added new set of documents to train the model, right? Because
mhm,
we have received different type of or small change in the documentations, so that
mhm,
we added those documents, we trained it.
mhm.
All of sudden, right, it goes down to around 60 to 70%.
Okay.
So my question is, right, why it is so, and what is the approach we need to follow to train the model in the real time scenarios?
Okay. So what you can simply do it out is you can just directly edit that model, because we usually do is out if the document is getting changed, we need to have a separate AI model, because if that is already working perfectly in the production, what we will do it out is because just field mapping only is the only thing which we are going to do. So you can just edit that model in your development environment and you can try it out, or else you can if you don't want to touch the existing one, just create a new model, import that same collection, and you can directly edit the document again to get the accuracy, because we are not sure about how the AI model is training our document over here. So it will be better that we understand the requirement and we'll get the proper documentation from the customer and we can just retrain it to reach until a fair one, which is nothing but an 80%, to proceed further. It will be better that you need to train the model again and again with the high number of accuracy. So how much accuracy we are getting and how much rating we are getting in the document, that much accuracy we will get in your document. Because see, now itself, if you can able to see, I got only 79%. If it is a Nike 79%, it is not sure that it will automatically provide a proper value. And this AI model is not, it won't always provide an accurate value, but instead of typing again, it will reduce our work to just verify, okay, this is the field, whether it is properly mapping or not. So for that only, we are just using AI model. So to answer your question, it will be better to train the model again or creating a new one to get the accuracy. Okay, I think it's taking a lot of time. I think I don't want to waste the time here. So I'll just directly go ahead and just simply open my flow, and I'll just show you what is the value and how we are passed with the document reader. I'll click on edit here. So here you can able to see this is the document reader of Power Apps. So I'm passing the input file as file content. So I'm just passing it as a file content. So once after I get the file, oh sorry, I don't want this value. So I'll just go to my extract information from the document. So which is nothing but the resume AI model. So if you are not getting any AI model here, which means that your AI model in AI Hub is not published. So make sure that you will publish that AI model. Then what is the form type? So there can be different form types available, which is like you can upload the PDF document or JPEG image or PNG images. So you can directly choose any one of this one to read your document. And the which is this is nothing but the content of file which we need to pass it out. So here I am passing the PDF document, so I'm just converting that content bytes to base 64 to binary to train the I mean to send the document to the model. So I can directly select that one. So once after I'm done this one, I'm just going to the response flow. So I'm just passing the first name as the first name text, last name as a last name text from the A model, email as email text from the A model, then qualification text. So whatever value which I'm just getting it in the A model as an output, that I'm just responding it to the Power App. That responded Power App, I'm just directly storing it in my temporary variable like a result from the flow. And here I'm just using result from the flow dot qualification, which is nothing but it will return this qualification response over there. And the same way for the email address, first name and last name as well. Yeah, pretty much I think I have covered this one, but let me just quickly check the hub whether it is trained properly or not at the last time. No, I think it is taking some time. Yeah, so without any further delay, so because
So
of this
Ram,
one only, I just yes.
you showing me one by if you go to Power Apps and attach one file. If we need to attach multiple files, when item mail is received, just go to check attachment and storing data, whatever extract data, storing share. So we can do like this.
Yeah, obviously. So that's what I said. So what today I just showed a demo with only one attachment. So if you want to directly go with multiple attachments, obviously, which is like you don't want to show the information in your Power Apps, which means that each document will have different records. So, for example, instead of showing each values over there, you will create a record. So like a gallery. So whatever which I've just showed in the right side, so you can have a gallery over here. So attach your full documents here and click of submit, store that attachment into a place. So for example, I'll store it in a documents in SharePoint. How your flow should trigger when a file is created or when an item is created or when an item is modified in the SharePoint, your flow will automatically get triggered. It will take that PDF document, extract that information and create a record over there. Once the record gets created, that record will show at the right side over there. So if it is a multiple attachment, store it somewhere and then process it.
I little bit have confusion when item is created and modified. So if we have SharePoint, we have 10 row. Okay, I'm assuming 10 row. So it's a flow.
No. I'm saying when a file. You don't want to say. I'm not saying about a list. I'm saying about a document library.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ramprakash, we're just out of time.
Oh, okay, fine. So I'll just finish this part within this question. Yeah.
Yeah, let's summarize.
Yeah. So yes. So this is what the AI model which I have developed, but I got a good question that whether it is support the multilingual language or not. So I'll just quickly check that multilingual languages and come back with an update. And I think we got a last question, right? I think you can directly connect me in a LinkedIn. So I'll directly ready to answer your question as well. And yeah. I have my YouTube channel, which is nothing but a Ramprakash Doraisamy. You can have a look on this one as well. I have provided these type of more videos in my YouTube channel as well. And once again, I need to thank you for the Power Platform Classmates to provide this opportunity. Thank you,
Ramprakash. That was a wonderful session.
Yep.
All right. So next up we have Dhruveen. Again, we are heading into the one of the last session for the day, and post this we will be back tomorrow. But Dhruveen, we can see you. I hope you can hear us. I hope you can.
Yes, absolutely. I can hear you. How are you,
yes.
by the way?
Thank you. Doing good, and hope you can now shed light on some of your great content. Looking forward for this session. Once again, everyone who has joined today, thank you for joining our event, Power Platform Classmates 2024. Some of you who are at in Singapore, thank you for joining there as well on a Saturday. And I hope you already have had a great day throughout. And now we're heading into our last session. So with that, Dhruveen, I'll hand it over to you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. So let me quickly share my screen. Let me know if the screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
All right. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, Power Platform Classmates. Unfortunately, initially when CFS was opened, I didn't submit it, but fortunately, I get a chance to speak as one of the sessions. So thank you so much for that. So today's session is again like as we are we are at the end of our day, so it's a very lightweight session. So what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to explore about all the modern controls that we have right now in the Power Apps. So I don't have much slides, direct practical, and we'll directly see the demo over here. So without further talking about me, let me just give a little bit introduction about me. So I'm Dhruveen Shah. I'm from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and I'm a Microsoft MVP and MCT. So this is my link where you can follow me on all my social media handles. Mostly I'm posting my content on YouTube and Instagram the most. So probably you can just follow me and you will get more context around Power Platform over there. So this is the link which I just pasted in the chat window. Now, without further talking about me, let me start directly to the Power Apps. And first of all, let me talk about the concept that I'm going to talk about today. So far in the Power Apps with the real business world, the biggest problem was businesses are not happy with the controls which Power Apps natively offer. So last year they rolled out the modern control, and so far nowadays, like whenever we are building the new Power Apps application for our customer, we are trying to use modern control as much as we can because it is based on the Fluent UI, and Fluent UI is something which is providing us the great capability to showcase our UI skill, and which is very slick and looking very nice when we are publishing our app with the modern controls. At this time, modern control are still in the preview. They are not 100% production ready. They still have some bugs. They are constantly improving their controls more and more. So maybe in upcoming future, the controls will be more stable and it will be more production ready. So today let's talk about what are the modern controls available in the Power Apps, and we will build one modern form control, modern table control, and we'll see what the features that it offers us. So first of all, to start with the modern control, you need to go to the setting here, go to the update option, and make sure that modern control and theme feature is activated. If this is activated, then and then only you will be able to use these particular features in the Power Apps. So make sure that it is turned on. Okay. Now, when you turn that on, after that, when you look at the insert menu, you will be able to see lots of modern controls available over here. And some of the modern controls are in preview at this moment, which means that it might be possibility that there are some bugs. They are still fixing it, but still you can use it just for your learning purpose and all. So over here, like you can see that different type of controls are there, like a different modern text control, button control, gallery control, form control, table control, icon, and obviously Copilot is also there. Apart from that, the biggest highlight of this modern control is they are also offering some of the good level of table control. I mean, earlier we know that in the classic layout we have the data table control, which is again a good one, but it doesn't have some extra features like native filter, native sort. But this particular controls now do have that features. So let's get started and start exploring some of the controls over here. So first of all, I'm not going to talk about some simple control that we have here like text and button, because those are the self-explanatory controls. Even we have some sort of tab control. I mean, whenever you are expanding anything, you can see all these controls like all this preview one, and it clearly highlight with the light purple color over here, which means that those all are the modern control. Or even when you add your control on your page, basically you will get to know that okay, which one is modern, which one is classic. You will be self realize that. Okay, so now first let me show you one of the cool control in the modern control which is available is table control. Okay, let's try to explore that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding table control on my screen over here, and this is how it looks like. Now what I want to do here is I'm just connecting by one of the Dataverse table. Like this is one table I do have 10k records, which has almost 10,000 records into the data. Okay, let's see how this native table control behaves even with the large data set over here. Okay, and let's see what it offers us. Okay, so basically I added this control, and you can see here I'm just making it big, and you can see that it offers a very slick UI for the table. I mean, this kind of grid are obviously with gallery some sort of UI we can customize it, but this is like similar kind of model driven application we have in the native canvas application itself. Now let me talk about some other interesting thing here. Like over here you can see that the data is available over here. It is showing the row count as well, so it is 10,000 plus records are there, so it is showing 5,000 plus at this moment. And over here you can see that like it started loading the data like this, and every header has this kind of arrow icon over here. Okay, now what is this arrow icon? Let's have a look. So let's say for an example, if I do here, if I click here, you can see that native sort option is available in out of the box manner itself. Now just imagine if you are doing the similar thing with the gallery control, how much effort you are placing to do that customization for yourself. Because in Canvas app we know that if we want sort feature, search feature, obviously we need to write PowerFX expressions, right? Now with this modern control, that makes our life much more simpler, and it is available everything natively over here. So even let's say I'm just doing here A to Z or Z to A, you can see that it clearly filtered, and it is working more than 2000 record as well. I mean, there are no such issue for delegation as well. Even it is supporting special data type as well, like lookup, choice, everything. So that makes our life much more simpler as well. Like let's say for an example, let me just play around in this way. You can see here I just filtered by index column. You can see that 9,999. So this is the record that I do have over here. Okay, also like whenever you scroll down a little bit over here, you will be able to see that it will load the next set of record automatically, and it's very smooth. So this control is again a game changer. But again, functionality come up with limitation as well. Like this type of table control definitely will be useful when we just wanted to show the data in the read only mode. But real-time requirements are always complex. I mean, we don't believe in a straightforward thing, right? Sometimes we are requiring like, okay, we need some sort of edit icon over here, or view icon over here, or delete icon over here with each row, right? That type of customization you can't do with this table control. For that, obviously you need to use a gallery control, but table is basically like a read only stuff and come up with all this capability. Also, this control is responsive in nature. Let me show you how. So here there is a property called reflow behavior. Okay, now what is reflow behavior? Let me explain you. So let's say for an example, let me just zoom in a little bit. Right now I have this control. Okay, and now what I want is, let's say if I reduce the size of the control, or maybe screen, I'm just reducing it in this way. Okay, reducing, and you can see that it converted into this kind of card like this. Just imagine with gallery, sometimes when we are working with the responsive web and when we are trying to achieve this kind of stuff, we were using containers, we are writing a code like if resolution reduced to this, convert to this, right? Now this table control come up with this responsive capability natively itself. And over here, like when it convert to responsive, basically you can see sort is converted like this. This is really amazing and cool. I mean, you can simply select it, apply it, it makes your life simpler, right? So this is again like good modern control. I'm really waiting that more and more feature will be rolled out here. Obviously there are some bugs which even I have observed, like sometimes when you scroll down up to 2000, 2500, sometimes this row showing this row count is showing inconsistent behavior that I have observed around 15-20 days back. But not sure right now what exactly it is, but it works nicely. And this is obviously like this control has really good potential, so that this kind of features we can achieve it in an out of the box way, and we need to use the less power fs expression, and we don't have too much limitation on top of the delegation and non-delegable function and all, because sort is the function which is a very sensitive function in power fx. Basically, like for some data sources like special data type, it doesn't support the more than 2000 record because of delegation warning and everything, but this control solves those problems. Okay, so this is one of the control. Second control I wanted to explain you here is, obviously like I'm not going to nth level of detailing over here, because on my YouTube I already have step-by-step series of all the modern control, but also a high level it provides the sorting facility, behavior facility. Also you can copy paste as well like Excel. Okay, so let's say I selected this cell. Okay, so let's say for an example I want to select 2-3 cells, copy together. Okay, I can use control C and control V as well into this grid. This is again a very good feature, and for that there is an option here in the grid, like you need to provide like allow range selection, then only it will allow you this kind of copy paste together. Okay, if it is no, let's say I'm doing no here. Okay, and then if I'm trying to do that, I'm not able to drag this. Okay, right now you can see my cursor is here, but I can't able to select multiple together. So range selection property is also there. So sometimes your customer needs copy paste somewhere from this grid to their Excel, they can do that as well. So very good feature set. Hopefully more and more enhancement will be there into this area. So this is first highlight. Second important feature I want to demonstrate here is modern form control. Okay, so modern form control is again a game changer control, because right now the classic form control we are using in most of our app, and most of the time customers are unhappy with respect to user interface or user experience. So this modern form control is going to solve that problem. Let's see how. So for that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect this one of the Dataverse table to create the modern form control. Again, there is a some sort of limitation and some sort of difference between classic and modern form control. So we'll just have a look on that as well. So this is my table, leave application table, and currently I have this many of columns over here, like employee name, then start date, end date, then leave status, leave time, manager email, manager name. This information I do have over here. Okay. Now on top of this Dataverse table, I want to build my form control, but this time instead of classic form, we will use the modern form. Okay. So let's just have a quick look around that. Let me go to my Power Apps. Let me go here and connect my data source first. So I'm connecting my data source. The data source name is Live application. Let's connect that. So I connected my data source. And now let's get started with the form control. For that, let me take a fresh screen over here. So I'm just taking one blank screen. And let me take one more screen here. So I'm just taking this header and footer kind of screen. It looks like this. Now here I'll also use some of the modern control, like look, this is my header. Okay, here there is one more control available in the modern control, which is again a header control. So we'll use the modern header control. So now gone are those days where we are having those labels and then we are writing the text and making a central line and everything. Out of the box header control is available in modern controls. So let's click on plus icon, search for the header. You'll able to see this control, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so this is the modern header control. Again, the good thing about the modern control is it also supports the modern theming as well. So whatever theme you will choose for your customer, let's say I'm choosing this theme, it will automatically apply to your control. That also make the modern control special and more reusable. Okay, so I'm just taking this as a theme, red color, and let's see how it goes. Let me just open this up now, and now let's just start configuring this screen properly. So what I'm doing here is, this is again my header control. So I just want to configure my screen first. So let me just provide my title here as, okay, apply for a leave, apply for a leave. Okay, so I'm just doing like this. Now over here you have the logo option as well. So if you have any company logo, you can set it up. This is user profile icon, which is also natively available. I didn't write any kind of code or anything for that. So what I'm doing is I'm just hiding this now because I don't need it. Again, the configuration options are already available. So if you don't want to show the logo, just make it off. So it will hide the logo. Similar way as well, like if you don't want profile picture, let's just hide this. Okay, makes life much more simpler. Okay, now let's compare the classic form and modern form side by side. So before that, I'm just adding here the modern form control. So what I'm doing here is clicking on add and selecting the form control from here. Again, this is the modern form control. Let's select that. So I just applied it, and the form control has been added perfectly over here inside this container. Okay, let's apply the data source from here now. So I'm just selecting the data source as leave application data source. So let's select that out. It will take time to load the fields, and here we are. You can see that how beautiful modern form control has been added perfectly on the screen. Okay, now to demonstrate modern versus classic experience, let me show you one more thing. Let me add the classic control here. So I'm searching for form control again, and this time I'm adding classic form control from here. I just added. Let's apply the data source. And you can see that this is how this classic control looks like. Okay, you can clearly see the difference here, right? How, let me just save this out. Okay, and this is the clear difference. You can feel this UI, like you can see how it clearly like modern fluent UI, and you can see that this is like typical classic user interface. But although right now still this existing one is more stable, I can say, but still moving forward in the future, obviously business and everyone will demand on this new form control, which is looking very nice. You can see every control is modern drop down, modern people picker, modern choices, everything, right? So this is how it looks like. Again, with respect to properties, there are some minor differences which I will talk about in a while. Okay, so right now let me just cut this classic control and paste it into some of the new screen, and then we will go in the comparison part again. So I'm going to new screen and paste this again here. All right, let it to be. Not sure why it is taking too long to paste generally. Okay, it pasted perfectly. All right, let me save this quickly. All right, and now let me go to my classic control again. Okay, now what we will do is we'll just try to see the function and property. Again, good thing about the modern form control is you can select multiple control together here. It's a good feature. While in classic one it was not there. Even for unlocking card we need to pick up every control one by one, and then we were able to unblock it. But now in the modern one you can do it all together, select multiple and unlock all the cards like this. Okay, this is how it looks like. Now let's configure the fields properly. So I'm just going here, going to edit fields, and again let's just drag drop and arrange the fields properly. So let's say this is employee name, then what I want is leave type, then I need like start date, end date, then I need reason as well. So let me just add one field reason. Leave ID I don't need it, I'll let me remove it. Then I do have the manager email and manager name. Okay, I'm just keeping it as is. Perfect, looks good. All right, let's save this one. And now let's get started by initializing the form. Again, for that let's add one modern gallery control. Again, this is modern vertical gallery. And again, I'll select my leave application list here, and over here let me just provide the layout like this, title and subtitle. I just want employee name, and here I just need like this item dot start date. Okay, I'm just creating a simple gallery at this moment because I just wanted to explain you the form control. Now to let's go to screen number 3 first. So this is where we added our form control, right? If you play this, you can see that no item to display because we haven't initialized our form. Okay, and to initialize the form, what we need to do is simply let's for new button, let's take a button control. Again, I'm using modern button control, and in modern button control you can add icon as well. So let's say I want to add icon. Let's rename the button add, and here let's just initialize the form. Okay, and for that we'll just use new form, and underneath that provide the ID of the form. So my ID of the form is form1. So let's apply it. Okay, so new form, and inside that form1. Okay, and then let's just navigate ourselves to that screen 3. That's pretty much it. Let's click on that, and now we redirected over here perfectly. And now let's add one save button here as well to save our form data. So let's take one more button control. Let's just move it to here somehow. let's provide text as save, and let's just provide icon as well, like save icon over here. That's pretty much it. And now let's save this stuff. So now I'm just start start typing the data over here. So let's say for an example, I'm just entering the data over here, like employee name Tapan. I'm just adding leave type. I'm just selecting like sick leave from here. Start date, let's say today. End date, let's say tomorrow. Reason, like and I'm just adding like Dhruvin, and let's say I just want to add image manager email. Okay, let's save this one. And now for save we need to write a code here. Okay, so again this is similar like classic control. Submit form is the function which we need to use with the modern control as well. We need to provide the ID of the form and it will save the data. And similar like classic form as well, it has two property, on success and on failure. So form control has that property. So select your form and let's go to on success. So once it is successful, I want to redirect myself to the home page, right? So navigate to screen 2. And I want to also notify the user that okay, form has been completed, submitted successfully. Successfully. And I just want like notification type is success. Okay, let's just have like this message. Okay, let's format this text and let's just submit this record. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, and one more thing, like if something is went wrong, like let's configure on error as well, on failure. Okay, if something went wrong and something is getting failed, let's just notify here with message something went wrong, and let's just have like notification type dot error. Okay, this is how it looks like. Now the thing is that similar like classic control, let's say if you want to make some field required and non-required, you have the exact same property again here. So if you go to the required property here, you just need to make it true. Okay, let's say I want to make this as well required, then definitely I need to go here, required and true. Also there is one more difference between classic and modern form control here. Like now in modern control, whenever you look at any data card, okay, you have data card key and data card value. We had the similar thing in the classic one as well. But let's say whenever we have text data type, let's say employee, okay, so name is Tapan, right? Now let's say for an example, sometimes you are using patch function, or maybe sometime you are using some conditioning, right? Let's say for an example, if text box value is greater than 5, then only I want to show this or I want to hide this, right? At the time usually we are reading our card value. Okay, so data card value 1 we are reading. Okay, so let's say I am copying its ID, data card value 1. Okay, and let's say I want to print it somewhere on the label. Okay, so I'm just taking the label control over here. Okay, and I want to print here like okay, what is there into that data card. So generally with the text data type we are using data card value dot text, but here in the modern control, remember, text property is removed. So no matter if it is text, number, anything, whenever you have text box, if you want to go to the modern controls, you always need to use dot operator as a value. In the classic one we had the text one. Okay, so let me just choose here data card value 1 dot value, and that will print that value over here like Tapan. Okay, similar way, let's see if I'm going to classic, let me show you exactly. So this is my classic form, right? Now let's see if I need anything here. Okay, just first unblock my range here. Okay, and here let me just pick up this one, data card value 8. And now if I want to print it anything here, then I can simply use here like data card value 8 dot text. Okay, so this is the base difference. There it is using dot value and here it is using dot text. Okay, so this is one thing we need to consider in our mind whenever we are working with the modern controls. Okay, also let's just do one more thing here. Like again, this is some date, data type and everything. Let's just submit this record and save this record first. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just clicking on save button, and this record is successfully saved. I can see the success message as well over here. Let's close this out. Let me scroll down a little bit, and here you can see that I can see this record submitted successfully over here. Okay, now similar like if we want to edit this record, let's write a code for that. Same like a classic control. Let's say this is the arrow icon. I want to change it to edit icon. Whenever someone click on edit button, they should be go to the form again. Okay, so again for that we will use a function called edit form. Again provide the ID form1. Again after that we need to navigate to screen. Type is cover. Okay, now again one more thing, like here we need to pass the context that which record of the gallery is selected, so that my form will know that okay, I want to edit this record or I want to open it as a new record. So I'll just use here text, like what is the selected item from the gallery. So I'm just creating a context variable selected item, and in that I'll just provide like whichever gallery item is selected. So we'll just use here like gallery 1 dot selected. Okay, that's pretty much it. And then let's navigate ourselves. I'm copying that variable. I'm just clicking on Tapan, and I can see still the data is showing blank to me over here, right? Now, in order to work with the edit form, we know that there is a property in the form control, which is the item property, which we always need to configure. Okay, so here we'll just supply that variable selected item. That's how my form will know that okay, whether I need to update the record or whether I want to open the existing record. Okay, so now I'm again going here, clicking on this, going here, and you can see that I can see all the record perfectly filled out properly. And now let's say if I'm just update anything, any comment over here, okay, and save it, it will save perfectly. And when I click it again, I can see the updated record as well available over here. Okay, so this is how the modern control looks like. Now let me talk about few limitations over here. Like modern control looks very amazing. I mean, I love the UI, but still it's immature to deal in some of the production ready application. Now before you use that, I wanted to show you what exactly the problems we have this with this modern form, and hopefully in the future we will be having the solution for that. Okay, so the first limitation here is, let's say here I'm on the first tab, right? Now when I'm pressing the tab key from the keyboard, okay, you can see the inconsistent behavior here, like it just move here, then here directly, right? Now let's say if I'm going to tab again, it goes here, right? So inconsistent, right? And why it is inconsistent, even I know that as well, because the thing is that it works the tab index based on the initial form that we have loaded into the system. So initially we had employee name, then end date, so it is going there, and then we have leave status, so it is going there, right? Now just consider right now we have 10-15 fields, so it is good. But if we have more and more field, obviously like it will be taking more and more time. I mean, just imagine if you have a 120 field, right? And you know, you can't delete everything from form, and you can't add one by one field so that it can support the tab order. So the limitation here is that none of the modern form control in any text box control over here in the modern form doesn't support the tab order at this moment. Hopefully in the future we have this facility, because if you look at the classic form control, let me just open it up side by side. So this is my classic, and in classic every data card that we have inside the form which has the capability over here to set the tab index so that we can configure the way we want. But in the modern control we don't have that. And that is also like sometimes it's really showstopper, because many times when we have a larger form and business are working with the form, they are mostly using the tab order for the form. So again, this is the limitation. Second limitations that we do have with the modern form control is it has a minor bug specifically with the lookup and choice. So let's say for an example, this is my choice column, okay, and let me just open up one from scratch control. Let me just go with the add. Okay, and when you look at when we have the new form, okay, and when we open this kind of choice column, okay, by default it is having this kind of blank selection available over here. Although I don't know whether it's intentionally or unintentionally, but sometimes it's really confusing for the user, because let's say for an example you are creating cascading drop down, or let's say for an example one drop down is selected, second drop down value should be selected according to that, then this type of blank value really creates some sort of confusion for the users, right? Right now there is I mean, with the code you can remove it, but out of the box, like in classic control, we don't have such behavior. Like we don't have one blank record automatically for every choice or every lookup or every people picker. Here we do have that problem. So that's make me uncomfortable to utilize when we have choice or lookup like this. Also, like for people picker as well, we have the similar problem like with the modern control right now. Like let's say in your active directory you have 2000 4000 users, right? And how the native people picker work is working very smoothly. You start typing, it will search the result and it will do the thing for you. But in modern control it's slightly like search is not working as expected, because still it is underneath preview. So hopefully those things will be stable in future. But ultimately, like I love this people picker. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is what exactly we were waiting from where the PowerFs is PowerFs has been launched, right? I mean, classic people picker, it's horrible. I mean, most of the customers are looking like similar kind of experience over here, which is very smooth, and this is amazing one. So there are plus and minus both the things here. So use it wisely for your production ready application. As I said, like couple of things are there. Obviously you can do tweaks and tricks around the stuff. Let's say for an example, this is like your choice, right? You don't like it, I mean, because of this blank behavior, right? So probably what you can do is you always have the classic one, right? Utilize this from here, okay? Unlock this data card, okay? Unlock this data card and let's copy this one, classic one, okay? Let's go to the modern form. You are still in the modern form, okay? Delete this out, or maybe first paste this control over here, okay? And after that you can see here looks good, okay? I mean, you can do just fusion, it not looks great, I can say, but these are some tweaks you need to do. Now let's say for an example, copy this id, delete the existing one which is behind the scene, provide the exact same id to here, okay? It will just remove the other errors and you have this now here. So for people picker or sometimes for lookup, then probably you can set up the font accordingly, like over here to match the font, maybe you can reduce the font size, okay? So it will just match a little bit. You can just remove this border from here, probably like this. So this is how it will look like, okay? So you can just do around this kind of tweaks and tricks around your form and play around with that. So let me just use the border like a one, so it will look like this, okay? So this is how you can play around and work with the modern control, okay? So this was the second important thing, modern control. I talked about classic versus modern, and again the good thing about the theme, modern theme is again a game changer. Here you can customize your own theme as well. So if you click on add theme, the new theme option is available. So for your organization, like my company is Power Platform Trainings, right? For that, I just want to create some theme. I can select the font, I can select the Horizon, vibrancy, hex code, okay, and just create a customized theme as well, and you can see that it is applicable everywhere. So again, this will save lots of our time that we are spending on the designing for the modern control. So again, this is again a game changer for all the modern control and modern designer. This theme is really very good. Hopefully we will be having more and more feature like Power BI in this theme option as well. So let's see where it come up with, but so many feature sets available over here. Okay, now let me talk about few more things over here. Let me just save it quickly. Apart from this, basically we will be having like obviously some more controls available as well, which you can obviously try it by your own. So let me just give you at very high level. So some of my favorite is now for tabular layout as well. Like you don't need to create tab list with the component. Okay, this kind of tab as well available. So you can just provide like this: personal info, then professional info. Let's say you have something else, right? So this kind of beautiful tab is also available now natively with the Power Platform. So that is also something which you can leverage. Another important control, as I explained, header control we talked about. Galleries are also like modern galleries and classic galleries, there is no such differences, but try to use modern as much as you can because it will support the modern theming over there. Okay, apart from that, if you look at the text input, number input, drop down combo box, date picker also available as a new control slider, rating control as well available. Okay, and there is one more control called beige control. This is again looks nicer. So if you just want to create some sort of badges for yourself, I mean, you can simply utilize this as well for yourself as a part of your power apps. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to walk you through, guys, specifically the modern gallery, modern form control. It's again, as I said, like it's a very lightweight session. I don't have any complex code or any complex logic, but this is like coming up next generation app. We can always build up with the uh, modern controls. Obviously right now I can say it's not production ready due to its bugs and minor things that is here and there, but hopefully when it's generally available, when it will go in GA, it will be sorted out and be having uh, this bugs to be sorted out and having more control over the stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today's session. I'll pause here and I'll open the stage for Q&A. If anyone has any question, I'm happy to answer, or even after this, if you have any question for me, probably these are all my social media handles detail. Again, I'm just pasting the link in the chat window. You can just connect me on my LinkedIn or YouTube or website or anywhere where you want. And even if you wanted to know more about the specifically the modern control part, so just go to this playlist section. Here I do have a dedicated session, a dedicated playlist on modern control itself. Okay, so these are the different playlists which from where you can always increase your knowledge. Okay, and for modern control as well, I do have the dedicated playlist on that. Okay, so you can just explore it and learn more from there. All right, so that's pretty much it from my end. The stage is open for Q&A. Anyone has any question, I'm happy to jump in.
Thanks, Dhruvin, for that session. That was really insightful. I have posted a question myself. I just wanted to ask that do you know when all these would be available in GA?
It's very tough question. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
right now, I mean, in Wave 2, definitely it's not there.
Okay.
in Chile. That's what I
Because some
checked.
of the documentation do point out that they would be out sooner than later. So just wanted to
Yes,
know that so that I could
exactly.
set, all of us could
Yeah,
set expectations for our clients for their improvements.
absolutely. New
Awesome.
things always take some time to stable,
Yeah, and not all
and
of them might end up being in
hopefully,
GA
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
So got it. Anyone else have any questions? Please feel free to unmute. This is the last session for the day. Of course, we'll be continuing again tomorrow morning. Um, but I know it's a Saturday and it must be tiring to sitting through all these sessions if you did. But of course, admire your patience and thank you for being here and letting our speakers giving them feedback on with your thoughts, with your questions. Even the speakers and everyone else have something else to take back as well. That's really great. Anyone else have any questions?
Dhruvin sir, I have basic question. Uh, Actually, I want to build one condition. If you created first name, like, so how to build like if greater than if less than 8 character, so it's a reset value from data card.
Yeah, so basically on change of the text box, basically you can change the length, check the length of your control. So let's say for example, here you just wanted to check like this. Okay, so let's say here we do have the on change event. Okay, so let me just pick up this. Let's say for an example, I can write a condition like this: if this data card value one dot value, and we have length function in the Power Apps, so we can simply use that up. And you can just do like this: if greater than or equal to 8, then probably you just wanted to make it blank, so probably you can maintain some variable or something to clear it out blank. So let's say I'm just using like update context, and I can simply use like here like variable reset, and I can make it blank like this. Otherwise, I don't want to do anything else, and then probably this variable we can set just on the value instead of parent or default. Obviously, you need to add more and more condition depending on your need, but this is simply how you can write up for yourself. Okay, so just write on change event, use the function, and all good. Hope that gives you clarity. All right.
All right, so I'll just share the agenda for tomorrow, just for you all to take a look. So again, we are at the end of the session today. Of course, Dhruvin's session was swapped with Aro. That's why Dhruvin is speaking now, and Aro did earlier in the day. And this is our agenda for tomorrow. Someone has raised a hand. Yes, Vikas.
Yes, Jane. Hi, Vikas this side. So, actually, I wanted to ask this question. If modern controls do have to, do they affect any way with the overall app performance? So, let's say I build an app with the classic control, and on the other side, I build the same app with the model control. Can I see any significant performance difference between those two?
Yeah, in terms of loading, it's faster compared to the classic one. That behavior even I have observed. Uh, but obviously, like it's based on the Fluent UI. So Fluent UI itself is a smooth experience it is offering to the user. So obviously, I mean, again, it's like depending on like if I'm comparing one, I mean for 810 field you will not really see the difference, but when you have more field like 150 170 field in the form, and if you compare side by side, obviously modern wins there. So because they are lesser heavier than the classic one, and obviously Fluent UI is far better in terms of experience and all, because the entire office product is based on the Fluent UI. So more stable and more faster. I can say definitely yes. You can see the I can say around 30% improvement definitely you can observe when you have the more field, but obviously if up to 20-25 fields you will see both same almost like, but when you have more data you clearly see the difference.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question regarding that application. How to improve our Power App performance faster and efficient way? What are the best practice?
Okay, so look, everyone have their own perspective. No one has the perfect answer on that. Specifically, like how to improve it. I mean, definitely, like Power Apps is not mean to be. I mean, we need to develop the app in a way that it should work. In a way that whenever you are loading the data, you will load the limited data. That's how your Power Apps become more smooth and slicker. Obviously like some delegation, you need to also worry whenever you have the yellow signal, basically try to avoid that as much as you can. That will also improve your queries more faster. If you are using more delegable function, it's also useful. If you are having the larger gallery, implement the pagination in the gallery. Also like for an example, like if more and more data is there, uh, I mean form control and everything, then probably try to use less number of collection function or less number of set variable. If not needed, don't use it, other because temporarily it consume your browser memory or maybe your mobile memory. So use it wisely. Also like there is a monitor option available in your Power Apps where using which you can identify that okay, this is what it is taking more time to load the data or load the form or something. So probably you can focus on those queries to reduce as much as you can. And whenever you are using any filter function, sort function, make sure that you minimize the result first. So let's say if you have 2000 record, right, and already on your page you have filtering, so first write a filter function, on top of that write a sort, so that sort is to be performed on the lesser set of data rather than entire 2000 data. So these are some tricks you should always use or consider in your mind. No, as I said, no such perfect documentation. Everyone has their own way of doing the things. um, that's how you can simply improve the performance or app. Hope somehow this is helping you and values your question.
Yeah. And also I've seen read somewhere we have to use laser control in the form, right? That is also one
Sorry.
approach. There are the
So,
laser control we can use in the form.
sorry, I didn't get what you're asking for.
I have read some article. So in that
Okay.
article I just read, we can use the laser control in the form. So that is
Oh,
also
I
one.
see. I mean, laser control on the screen. That's what you maybe read somewhere in the article. Yeah, it is good that on screen you will limit like 120, 150 control, not more than that control. Otherwise, also the screen becomes slow. There are multiple reasons to become the app slow, but sometimes, we don't have such option. Like, let's say, for example, I have 200 field of form and I'm just dividing into step. Okay, then obviously I need to load it, but something in hidden, something in the background, using that I can definitely, I need to design my UI. But yeah, that is also impacting. Like if you have more control on the screen, rendering time will more, because obviously it will take the data from the server, queries, database, and load accordingly. All right.
Thank you.
Hope that. Okay, perfect. All right, anyone else has anything before we wrap up? I think I'm good. All right. Thank you so much, everyone for your valuable time. I hand over to Priyesh. Maybe you can go ahead and wishing you all a great evening ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dhruvin. So for everyone, I just pasted the agenda for tomorrow as well in the chat so that you could just save the image and refer it later on as well. Again, thank you for joining today. It was lovely being part of this larger community. And it's epic to be able to reconnect with all of you from our busy schedules and share knowledge. So continue being part of this group, and looking forward for the day tomorrow. Again, we have fantastic lineup of sessions tomorrow as well. So do join, and we'll look forward for you in that call tomorrow. So have a rest of the day. Um, Enjoy, relax, have a good weekend ahead, and we all meet soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.